Got a hole up there and gotta finish closing it in. One thing about new sheet metal is it's slick. So you want to have a good pair of non-skid boots, and you want to stay on your feet. If you get down on your jeans or kneel down or sit down, you will slide off the roof. Usually overlap it one full rib until we get to the edge. And then I like to get a screw started in it to keep it from sliding. You're supposed to technically screw it in the raised parts, but this close to the edge on this old barn that we're just trying to keep water out of, I really don't care. Another thing about this sheet metal is they also oil it to keep it from rusting. And that makes it even more slick. So until you get a screw started in it, you're kind of at the mercy of the metal. There we go. Now we got it held in place. And now I'm sliding down the roof. Now what I'll do, now that it's lined up and in place, I'll start down at the bottom and start screwing it up through there the correct way and hopefully not slide off of this roof. Okay, we're gonna try to screw this down now. We've got some screws that are less than great. They're supposed to be self-tapping, but they're not. But we'll make do. You always want to stand when you're screwing this stuff down. You want to stand on the 2x4s, the stringer boards coming across. That way you don't bow the tin down. Otherwise you'll have gaps and see daylight from inside the barn. See how pretty that hayfield's getting out there from up here? Probably work better. Now we gotta move them back because the last piece we overlapped quite a bit, so it's not hanging off the edge of the barn flopping. Like I said, I'm not worried about where the screws go at this point. Barn's 57 years old. As long as it turns water, I'm happy. We still have to put the ridge cap on. Funny part is they don't make the ridge cap for this anymore, so we had to we've got the old pieces downstairs. We're gonna straighten those out and do the best we can and tar them some. And I put extra screws along the end just because all the wind we get around here and the storms come out of that direction and they'll catch this tin, and we want it to stay on as long as possible. Hopefully the next storm waits another 20 years to come through. And I've got to go back and one night and screw down all the tin that it didn't pull off. I've been roaming around putting screws in here and there, but it really needs to be done right. One more row. Probably would have waited for a less windy day, but it's gonna rain later this week, and we need things covered up. All right. Now we got to get back down, and my dad's getting the next sheet. And we will soon have a barn roof. This is what we do for fun on a Monday evening. Last one. Oh, sometimes you make mistakes. As long as your mistake's not falling off the end of the barn, you're in good shape. We'll take these screws out and we'll screw through both sheets. Or maybe just move them over and add another one. We got plenty of screws. All right, got the last piece set and ready to get it buttoned down and get down on some flat ground. If I'm shaking, it's not because I'm afraid, it's because my ankles are tired of this pitch. That new tin that Dad picked up today is got extra oil. You may wonder why I'm not screwing that out farther. It's because my stringer boards don't go out any farther. The old barn's crooked and everything didn't come out the same. But it lives to fight another day. Cross over where the metal's not quite as slippery. There you have it, folks. Closed up roof. And one farmer who's still alive and kicking. Now it's time for some roof cap. The roof cap, I tried to buy some roof cap to replace this, but they don't make it anymore. They don't make this kind anymore, and we've already got some of it installed. So my dad worked on it and we straightened some of it up, and it's vintage. It's vintage like me. That's what I always tell them when they ask for my date of birth at the pharmacy. I always tell them I'm vintage. We'll try to get it lined up the best we can, and at the end of the day, it's just here to cover the gap at the top. There's some holes in it, some issues with it. I'll put some tar on it. Not too worried about it, just need something to cover the top. And for this, we can be on the other side of the roof that's not quite as slick. And you gotta hammer some nails down as you go. Kind of make it fit best you can. It's still windy again tonight. It's supposed to have storms later this week. It's one of the reasons I want to get this done, so that we can pull the equipment in and you can see the wind in action. Doing its thing. We'll go down through and we'll use the old holes in the cap because I've replaced the boards, so they're not going to hit the same holes. Should be secure. When they put this on originally, they kind of put it on backwards. I would have overlapped them the other way because our winds mostly come out of the west that do any damage, and these are where it's going to catch them. Talking about severe storms in our area again soon, and I don't want to take any chances. I'm using up the rest of these screws that I was having problems with because I already have some holes to start them in, and And they're brown, so they match the rust. The tornado was bad enough, but since then it's blown every day, just about. Most of the roofing I've done has been with shingles. This is my first go around with sheet metal. I told my dad we could shingle this whole thing, put plywood down and shingle it, and he chuckled at me. Comment down below about some of the times that you've done crazy stuff like this, or some of the times that on the farm that you just had to make do with what you had. It didn't get any better than this. Looking out at that green hayfield, I hear some cows somewhere. Now we're out at the very edge of the peak, and this is where you be careful. In fact, this is where you can straddle the top of the cap so that you don't slide down either side or off the end. Perfect. There's not enough hours in the day, is there? It seems like just get going and run out of daylight. Okay, my friends, we have a slightly bent vintage roof cap. Okay. The days ahead, we're going to be walking around on this roof, and when the tornado hit the barn, it shook the whole thing. And these old nails, a lot of them, they're just loose, and some of them fell out, some of them didn't. But you can see a spot like I don't know, right here. This piece of tin. Nails aren't holding anything. If they're sticking up and a wind were to come, and they could catch that, so I'm gonna be going back and adding screws. Basically, you walk around and everywhere you hear the metal rattling, you know that see the nails laying everywhere? That piece right there. And you can't pull the nails and put the screws in the same hole, because where those nails are, there's rotten spots and they won't hold. just beat the nails down. Hope for the best.